Welcome to This Explainer. So, if you've been following the absolute explosion in AI lately, you already know it's a rapidly shifting landscape. And honestly, it's filled with some incredibly complex terminology. Today, we're going to explore it together and really look under the hood of a highly thoughtful, truly unique AI named Claude. We're going to break down fascinating concepts like constitutional AI step by step. And we'll use some simple analogies to make it super easy to understand, whether you are a total power user or you're just starting out and trying to figure out what AI can actually do for you. Let's dive in. Right now, the world of artificial intelligence is a very, very crowded room. Names like ChatGPT and Gemini, they tend to steal those massive headlines and absolutely dominate the social media chatter. They're kind of the loud voices in the room, right? But there's another name you've probably heard mentioned in quieter, maybe more academic circles, or maybe from those serious power users who literally swear by it. That name is Claude. Developed by Anthropic, which is an AI safety and research company based right out of San Francisco, Claude really isn't just another chatbot thrown into the mix. It's an AI assistant built from the absolute ground up with a very specific, very deliberate philosophy. To truly get this, I want you to imagine you're interviewing candidates for a new coworker. You just want someone to help you out with your daily tasks. Now, a standard AI model, it's largely trained to just please you, the user. It wants to give you the answer you're looking for, as quickly as humanly or artificially possible. It's fast, it's flashy, but it might just be telling you what you want to hear. Claude, on the other hand, is the coworker who operates on a totally different philosophy: to be helpful, harmless, and honest. Claude actually prioritizes safety and depth over just handing you a quick, pleasing answer. It's a completely different approach to how an artificial mind should interact with us. Section 1. Understanding constitutional AI. This is the big question for beginners and experts alike. What exactly is constitutional AI? Well, to understand this, we kind of have to look at how AI models are traditionally trained. Usually, humans have to spend thousands of hours telling the AI what a good answer looks like and what a bad answer looks like. I mean, it's highly manual and takes forever. But Anthropic decided to take a totally unique approach here. They wanted a system that didn't just rely on humans constantly hovering and correcting it. And here is the absolutely crucial concept. Constitutional AI is a training process where the AI is actually given a set of core values to evaluate its own responses against. Think of it like giving the AI a built-in moral compass or a master rulebook. Instead of engineers having to constantly look over the AI's shoulder and correct it like a toddler who keeps making mistakes, Claude is designed to look at its own work. Before it even speaks to you, it checks its own answers against this master rulebook. It grades its own homework, essentially ensuring it stays on track instead of just trying to flatter you. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly are these core values? Where do they even come from? Well, Anthropic didn't just pull them out of thin air. This constitution is actually inspired by foundational real-world documents, like the UN Declaration of Human Rights. By anchoring the AI's core values in widely accepted, serious international human rights documents, the whole goal is to help Claude stay incredibly objective and actively avoid bias. It's a remarkably serious, thoughtful foundation for an AI. So, let's look at how this plays out step by step in a real conversation. Step 1, you, the user, ask Claude a really complex ethical question. A standard AI, it might just blindly pick a side based on its training data, or honestly, it might just shut down and completely refuse to answer. But in step 2, Claude actually checks its constitution. It references those foundational core values. And then in step 3, because it's evaluated itself against objective principles, Claude delivers a nuanced, unbiased answer. It weighs the different perspectives, it explains the complexities, it doesn't just give you a knee-jerk reaction, it literally thinks through the problem. The result of this whole constitutional process is an AI that just feels a little more thoughtful. And this is exactly why power users swear by it. Claude is widely known for a conversational style that is eloquent, incredibly nuanced, and remarkably human-like. When you chat with Claude, you're not getting that robotic regurgitation. You are getting a highly considered response from an AI that has been trained to actually weigh perspectives. It's a real game changer. Section 2, the context window superpower. Okay, let's define this technical term because it is absolutely vital. A context window is simply how much information the AI model can remember and process at a single time. To use a simple analogy, imagine your working memory is like a desk. Some AI models have a very small desk. They can handle a few pages of text. But if you hand them a whole book, the first few pages literally start falling off the edge. They forget the beginning of the conversation. Claude, however, has a massive, sprawling desk. The higher-end versions of Claude can process entire books, massive technical manuals, or thousands of lines of code all in a single go, laying it all out on that massive desk without dropping a single page.
To really anchor this in your mind, imagine the number 100. Imagine you have a dense, highly technical 100-page PDF document. With standard AI, you'd have to break that down into tiny little chunks. It's exhausting. But with Claude, you can just drop that entire 100-page PDF right into the chat window. Hit enter and immediately ask, hey, what are the 3 biggest risks mentioned on page 74? And Claude can look right across its massive context window and give you the exact answer in seconds. It remembers the whole document flawlessly. No way, right? But it's true.
Because of this massive context window, Claude has naturally become the absolute favorite tool for professionals who are just buried in data. Look at this list. You've got researchers poring over dozens of scientific papers, lawyers cross-referencing massive legal briefs, and coders trying to debug thousands of lines of complex software architecture. These professionals rely on Claude because they need to analyze huge amounts of data without the AI suddenly forgetting the instructions or the context from the very beginning of the prompt. Section 3. Which Claude is for you?
So now that we know how it thinks and we know how much it can remember, let's lay out the practical options. Think of this like a lineup of different candidates for a job you need done. Claude actually comes in a few different flavors or models. First up, we have Haiku. Think of Haiku as your sprinter. It is lightning fast and great for quick tasks. Then we have Sonnet. Sonnet is your balanced, everyday workhorse, perfect for the vast majority of standard professional tasks. Finally, we have Opus. Opus is your heavy lifter. This is the model you bring in for highly complex reasoning, advanced analysis, and deep problem solving. By splitting the AI into these 3 tiers, Anthropic lets you choose exactly the right tool for the job.
So how do you actually apply those models in the real world? Well, whether you choose Haiku, Sonnet, or Opus, Claude excels in a bunch of really cool roles. It is an incredible creative writing partner because of that eloquent human-like nuance. It serves as a totally meticulous proofreader because of that massive context window that just doesn't miss a detail. And it is a fantastic logical sounding board because of its constitutional AI. It weighs perspectives instead of just echoing your own thoughts right back at you. Claude truly offers a unique alternative in the AI landscape, an alternative that steadfastly prioritizes safety and depth. Which brings us to our final takeaway. Look, in a world full of fast and flashy technology, sometimes what we really need is depth. We need an assistant that thinks carefully, stays objective, and remembers everything we tell it. So, the next time you have a problem that requires a bit more nuance and a bit less flash, will you give Claude a try? It might just be the thoughtful AI companion you've been looking for all along. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I really hope you leave with a much clearer understanding of constitutional AI. Catch you next time.